think this is like a challenging question.
It is quite.
It's a bit weird.
Yeah.
Just because I fundamentally believe that women and men are the same. It's just the ecosystem that we're in and societal expectations that cause us to manifest and act in different ways. But
Right.
we're talking about basic skills, drive, and all these
Mm-hmm.
different things,
Mm-hmm.
it's essentially the same. That being said, I do recognize that the way I move through the world, it may be perceived differently.
Right.
So I do try, rather than using that as something to like hold me back, I try to use that to push myself forward and
Right.
to gain an edge. Just
Right.
recognizing that, one, anything that I do is going to be scrutinized a bit
Right.
more than like my male counterparts. So
Right.
you know that when you approach anything, when you're suggesting things, it has to be well thought out.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like one of the key aspects. The second one is that recognizing that you might unintentionally be excluded from opportunities. It forces you to seek out proactively different
Right.
resources that can help push you forward in one way or another.
Right.
Just from the basic sense that like me showing up to this thing won't guarantee my space in it.
That's
So
true. Mm-hmm.
I think it's been really important, even at work, seeking out like different relationships
Mm-hmm.
proactively, because you
Mm-hmm.
probably are not going to invite you to golf
Right.
with the boys.
Right.
So
Friday
like,
night beers or something.
yeah, so it's just like, how can you find different ways to still get that edge through what's
Right.
available to you, because it might not be available or like advertised to you initially as a woman.
Yeah.
So I think that's
Yeah. No, that's really
yeah,
interesting. I mean, you sort of did touch upon it on the next question I'm about to ask you, but I'll just
yeah,
ask just so you can expand a bit
yeah.
about it. So the question is, that being said, how do you
Mhm.
navigate life as this said woman?
Yeah. I think one of the things, as I said, like the first one is like, you have to always put your best foot forward.
Right.
Making sure that, I'm double, triple checking to make sure what I'm saying makes sense.
Right.
The testing feasibility, as well as getting various perspectives, just to know that,
Yeah.
when I'm saying something, I have the fact base to back it up.
Right. Right.
I think the second piece is the resourcefulness that I'd mentioned before, making
Okay.
sure that you're seeing what else you can do to help further yourself. And I think
Right.
the last thing as well, I guess it's tied to being a woman, but it also could be a personal strength as well. It's
Yeah.
just, I think I have to be more intuitive and attuned to different people and trying to leveraging like the empathy that I have to figure out, what is important to different people.
Right.
And like what is their perspective, and then using that to help forward any sort of like discussion or goal, because I think a lot of the time people struggle to understand different perspectives, and I think
Right.
I haven't always had the luxury of like my way being
Right.
the prevailing
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
like viewpoint or
Mm-hmm.
thought or perspective. So I think coming from a space where you're always having to also listen and take in other people's perspectives, I think
Right.
sometimes it can be beneficial,
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of the challenges now in the world is like everybody has these very I guess I was gonna say bipolar, but I know it's not the word. I know it's not the word.
Probably not.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just like people are very like one under the other. It's like
True. True.
so I think being able to understand the two and then working from there is very helpful, because
Yeah.
otherwise you're just in a shouting match and nobody's moving
That's
forward.
true. That's
Yeah.
true. That's true. That makes a lot of sense. I mean, just like having that empathy to be
Yeah.
able to understand the other person's point of
Yeah,
view,
you might
right?
not agree, but at
But
least you understand. And once you do
exactly.
that, I think it's a lot easier to like present the points to get
Right.
you to like a better consensus.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Cool.